Premier League Game Week 13 is here, and we're going to predict the games, and we got some very big matches, which include Liverpool versus Man City and Arsenal versus West Ham. So we're going to get straight into it, and we have Brighton versus Southampton. This is going to be the first game. This should go one way, in my opinion. Let's get started with Brighton. They have been quite good this season. Their past two games were quite tough, to be fair, and they faced Man City and Bournemouth, and they managed to beat both sides 2-1, which is pretty crazy. Now Mitoma and Joao Pedro have been so key for them and very underrated this season for them. On to Southampton. They continue to struggle quite a bit. Newly promoted side, as we all know. Their last game had a lot of fight in it. They played Liverpool and they lost 3-2, and they were actually playing not too bad. They sit bottom of the table, so they really gotta pick it up here. And my prediction is gonna be a 3-0 win for Brighton. Now the next game we have is Wolves versus Bournemouth. This should be quite a solid game, so let's get started with Wolves. This season they're doing not too good, although last game was a real statement. They managed to beat Fulham 4-1, which is absolutely incredible. And Matheus Cunha scored twice in that game as well. He's being looked at by Man United apparently. Onto Bournemouth, they have been not too bad this season. Recently their form actually dropped a bit. The past two games they have lost both of them. They lost 3-2 to Brentford and 2-1 to Brighton, but also this season they have beaten City and Arsenal as well, so they've been a bit on and off, a bit inconsistent in terms of their form. But my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Bournemouth. Now we have Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. This game should be quite interesting. So let's get started with Crystal Palace. They have not been too good this season. Their form in the last game was quite good, actually faced Aston Villa and managed to get a 2-2 draw. Ismaila Sarr was doing quite good in that game. I believe he got a goal and a assist. Maybe this is where they start to turn things around, and I know Crystal Palace are capable of turning their form around. Now on to Newcastle. They have been doing quite alright this season. Their recent form has been quite good, to be fair, with them beating Arsenal 1-0 and Forest 3-1. Two very good teams they defeated, which was pretty surprising. Last game they played West Ham and they lost 2-0. West Ham, in my opinion, were the better side, and I think they deserved it. But in this game, I see Newcastle winning it 2-0. Now we have Nottingham Forest versus Ipswich Town. This game is going to be a very good one, so let's get started with Forest. They have been a team that has surprised us this season, currently sat in 7th place right now. They were in some very good form, but they did lose last game. They actually played Arsenal and Arsenal beat them at 3-0. And Chris Wood is actually doing quite well this season. He is amongst the top goal scorers in the Premier League right now. Now onto Ipswich Town. They have actually been quite alright. Their form recently has been quite impressive. Last game they put up a very good performance against United, and also Omari Hutchinson scored a absolute banger in that game. He has probably been one of their key players, if not their key player in that squad or team. Now before that game they won 2-1 against Tottenham, and they really are stepping up their performances, so it's great to see. I have a lot of friends who support this team, so hopefully they start winning matches. But my prediction is going to be a 1-1 draw. Now we have Brentford versus Leicester. This game could be quite tight. Let's get started with Brentford. They have been quite alright this season. If we are talking about form, it has been alright recently. So 2 games ago they won 3-2 against Bournemouth, then they drew 0-0 against Everton. So I think slowly they are finding their form again, and Buemo and Wissa are players doing very well for the club this season. And onto Leicester, they have been not too good this season. Currently, they are sat in 16th place in the league. Their form has not been the best recently. Last game, they played Chelsea and they lost 2-1. Now, Fatau, the winger, is out for the rest of the season, so that is a massive blow for Leicester City, but unfortunately for Leicester City, I see Brentford winning this game 2-1. Now we move on to West Ham versus Arsenal. This game should be quite a solid game, honestly, so let's get started with West Ham. They've been quite disappointing this season, to be fair, although they have gotten some great wins. Like last game, they got a 2-0 win against Newcastle, managed to keep a clean sheet, and they played very well in that match. And Lopetegui, his plans seem to be coming to life quite slowly, but it's working. They're coming to life slowly. Honestly, we could see their form just going uphill from now, but Arsenal is going to be a tough match for them. So speaking of Arsenal, let's move on to them. They have not been too bad this season. Form has been alright, I guess. Last game they won 3-0 against Forest, which is quite huge. I really had a feeling we would struggle in that game, but we did very well. And Odegaard is back, and he is so key in this team's creativity. Like, I feel like the team just flows through him offensively. He just is absolutely amazing. His creativity is something that we missed when he was out for around 2 months, and most of the players are back and healthy, which is amazing. And I think we are gonna see Arsenal push on and really challenge for the title right now. So my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Arsenal. Now we have Chelsea versus Aston Villa. This is about to be a absolute banger. So let's get started with Chelsea. I think they've actually been quite alright recently. Their form has been a bit iffy though. Last game they won 2-1 against Leicester, but Palmer, I think, has been amazing this season, but he does go missing quite a bit in those big matches. But Chelsea sit in 3rd place, which is very good in the Premier League. Maresca has done a fantastic job with this team. Now on to Aston Villa. They have been struggling quite a bit recently. They have now won a game in 6 games in all competitions. Last game they played Crystal Palace, as we mentioned before, and they drew 2-2, and this will be their chance to turn it around. And Watkins is back on the score sheet. He scored in the last game, so maybe this is where he really starts to get his goals once again. And my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Chelsea. Now we move into Tottenham versus Fulham. This is another game that will be quite good. So we'll get started with Tottenham. They've been not too bad this season. Form-wise, they've been on and off. 2 games ago, they lost 2-1 to Ipswich Town, which is pretty crazy. Ipswich are actually on the up in terms of form. Then their last game they came around against City, and Tottenham have managed to outplay City, and they won that game 4-0. That was insane. Maddison is absolutely immense. He is so important to that team in terms of creating. He scored, I believe, 2 goals in that match as well. So amazing. Tottenham are on the up in terms of form right now. Onto Fulham, they have been quite a underrated team this year. Form wise, they have been pretty good, although last game they got slapped 4-1 to Wolves, and I did not see that coming. So back to the drawing board for Fulham. Smith Rowe and Nelson have been doing quite good for them this season, the Arsenal boys who transferred recently, and I'm sure they will bounce back from that loss. And my prediction is going to be a 3-2 win for Tottenham. Now we have Manchester United versus Everton. This game should be quite a good game, so let's get started with Manchester United. They've been doing not too good this season. Recently their form spiked quite a bit. They have been unbeaten in their past 5 matches in all competitions. Rashford scored in the 2nd minute in their last game, which they started well, but after that it seemed like they kind of fell away from the game, and Ipswich really started getting into the game more. But this was Ruben Amorim's first game in charge as well, and you could just see him on the touchline. He was very frustrated with how they were playing, so he said it might take some time for them to implement his tactics and really start playing well. Onto Everton, they have been doing not too bad this season. Their form recently has been quite good, although Southampton did beat them 1-0 last game. Before that, they were 5 games unbeaten, and Sean Dyche always finds a way to get back on his form. It's crazy because they have 2 wins and 5 draws in this campaign. I believe they're like 15th or 16th place right now. And my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Manchester United. Now we have the biggest game of the week, Liverpool versus Manchester City. Definitely the biggest game of the week or the season. So let's get started with Liverpool. They have been doing incredibly well this season, currently 14 games unbeaten in all competitions. Their form has been very good. In their last game, they had a tight one against Southampton. They did win 3-2 against them, and Mo Salah is one of the best players in the Premier League right now. It's just unbelievable. He has 12 matches played, 10 goals and 6 assists, and the team is looking absolutely immense under Arne Slot. They could honestly push on to win the Champions League and also the Premier League. It's pretty crazy how well they're doing. Onto Man City, they have been quite alright this season. Recently they have been in bad form, 6 games now without a win. Today, actually, when I'm recording this, they actually choked against Feyenoord. They were 3-0 up, then Feyenoord came back to get a draw 3-3. It's absolutely insane. It's the first time Pep has lost 6 games in a row as well, and they're missing Rodri massively. They're lacking goals as well. I think the defense is a real problem for them at the moment. Players are coming back from injury for them as well, so that might help. But Haaland has been lacking quite a bit of goals recently, which is crazy. Although he did score 2 goals in the Champions League, this game is going to be a real battle for sure, and my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Liverpool. Now, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to drop a like and comment down below all your predictions, and I will make sure to check them out. And don't forget to subscribe as well if you would like to see more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.